Hey guys, welcome back to the Honestly Jess show. I am your host, Jess, and if you are watching on YouTube, you can see that I am not alone today. I have my best friend Hannah with me because, as requested, you guys wanted to hear about what friendship across different life stages looks like. And we have basically been doing friendship across life stages since we became friends. So I was like, what better person to bring in to talk about this? So Hannah, give the people a little spiel about who you are.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and I'm really awkward, so I apologize if I look like I'm dying on the inside. Anywho, as Jess said, we've been friends for a while. 8 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 8 years. So before I met my husband, I am a full-time mom. I'm a full-time worker. I'm a wife. We serve at church. We love all things coffee shop, books, thrift stores, my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I love antiques.
Yeah.
I'm an 80-year-old in a 27-year-old's body.
Mm-hmm.
But Jess loves me anyways.
That's right.
It's okay.
Because we're lucky the same. Oh, we're just perfect. So, yeah, we want to talk about friendship across life stages because, like I mentioned, we have quite literally, basically, we met, and then, like, the next year you met Blake.
Yeah.
And started dating.
Yeah.
And so it's like there was one period where we were in the same season, and then they just slowly moved, like, on. Mm-hmm. Which, honestly, as I stopped to think about it, I was like, that's probably been one of the biggest blessings for me, just because we had a good history as single people first. Because honestly, it wasn't even a full year before you met Blake. It was like 6 or 7 months.
Yeah, I would think it was like we met in the fall and in the spring, here comes.
Yeah. So that, though, I feel like still gave us enough time. I think we were both in similar seasons anyway, while we were both single at the same time, to like form friendship, and we went really fast. Like, I don't think neither of us are surface level. No. So there was no chance that we were just going to like stay here. We were just like immediate deep dive.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure at the Ugly Mug, we both shared our testimonies with each other, and they're both pretty heavy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So, you know.
That was like a month into knowing each other, I'm pretty sure.
Literally.
Tell me all your deepest, darkest secrets.
Okay. That's also like such a Christian thing too, though.
Yeah.
Like, no shade to us Christians, but like sometimes we do just like jump straight in, which is fine. But
it be what it be.
Yeah, it does. It do be what it be. So I think that culture has started to get better about showing friendships at different stages of life and what it looks like to build the bridges across those things and to find common ground where you can. But I think that there's still a part of that conversation. I know I struggle with it myself, where we are so individualized in how we're seeing it that we tend to like kind of become so inward of like, oh, but they aren't reaching out to me, or like they aren't doing X, Y, Z and I need this thing. Right. And it's not all unhealthy, but I think the emphasis that culture's placed on stuff like that has really gotten into our noggins. And I think we're slowly starting to work out of that as more people are like, bring back the 90s summer and like get off your phone. And like little things like Brick are being invented, those little devices where you can just like tap your phone, which like I still haven't unbricked my social media from when I've been dog sitting, which is
I gotta get one.
Great. Yeah, they're fantastic. So with that in mind, I have a series of questions.
Okay.
So first one, what is an assumption you have about your friends who are in different life stages that you know may not be true, but is still a lie you have to fight?
I would say with you in particularly, because we do have very different lifestyles. Like you're single.
Yep.
I am married with 2 kids.
Yep. Very much so.
Those are very different stages of life. I think a lie that I have to, and it's not just with you, it's like with any of my friends who maybe even they'll be married but not have any kids.
Right.
And it's like, oh, like I'm not as fun as I used to be. I can't like go out all the time. And maybe they don't really want to talk to me as much because they know I'm going to not be able to go do something fun. And I think the biggest part of that lie that I have to fight is the fact that, like, okay, Hannah, yes, you're right. You do have to say no a lot because your kids and your husband are your priority in this stage of life, like while they're so little. But also, you're still Hannah, and you didn't lose fun just because you're your mom.
I definitely did not.
But I think that's the biggest thing that I fight is just like my identity as a mom and a wife, letting that sometimes absorb, oh, well, they don't want to hang around me because they're not in that stage of life and that's not fun for them, which is not.
Literally not true.
Not at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. And I feel like that's such a fair assumption because there are like a handful of times where like I've never thought that you were not fun ever in my life. But I do think that like the assumption that we may think that because you have other responsibilities is actually totally valid because it is hard to sometimes put responsibilities and like play and fun in the same conversation. And we just don't know how to like give and take things really well.
Yeah.
Because even with me, like I definitely have different responsibilities that do give me ample amount of free time.
Yeah.
And the ability to just like go and do. And then half the time I don't use that time to go and do. Like there's a good portion of my life where I'm like, I don't have a life. I work and I come home and I don't go anywhere because
but same.
Right. Like the only difference is I come home and like my responsibilities are like doing the dishes or taking care of our geriatric dog. And like you still have to do the dishes, but like you're also taking care of a husband and kids.
Yeah.
So, because frankly, like there is this kind of like even strange thing in singleness where I do have other friends who are single who are closer to my age, but I also like know some of their habits to where like I have a friend who love her literally to death. She's going to know exactly who she is when I say this too. But like if I called her or texted her, I was like, hey, you want to go do this? And it's like later in the evening and she's washed her hair. She's not coming out of the house. Oh, like if hilarious. She's just washed, she's not coming out of the house.
But I feel that.
Yeah, she's like, I'm done for like until tomorrow. You can try again then. So it's
oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm like, I just know. I'm like, I just won't bother you, and that's okay. But I was, for context for the people, when I was at the fair yesterday, with like a mutual friend of ours. She is like in her 40s, also has 2 kids. They're both grown, and so we were supposed to meet for coffee, and then our schedules were just not vibing. But she was going to our state fair. And I was like, well, I have a free ticket. And I had already been debating going by myself. But I was like, that's so lame going to the fair by yourself.
No.
I'm like, it makes me sad.
It's not lame.
It's not lame. But we'll get to that point, I'm sure, in a minute. But I was like, let me just see if I can insert myself into her life. I was like, hey, so since you're already going, do you think I can come with you? And with this particular person, it's almost always a yes. Yeah, like, right. She doesn't care. And it was great because it was just like super low key. But there and again, it's just like having to learn to ask. We're actually all doing the same things. And it's just like different font. So as the kids say.
Real.
And they probably don't even say that anymore, but whatever.
I don't know what they say anymore.
I can't understand.
I'm not even that old. I'm not even 30, and I don't know what they're saying.
27. I'm like, but yeah, like frankly, like we've talked about this. Assumptions for me is just with the like relational aspect more than anything. Because like all the people even know on the podcast, I've always wanted to be a mom, and I love your kids to death. They're literally like my own children. I just can give them back to you. So
when they're misbehaving,
I can return them.
Oh, sorry, you gotta go back to your mom.
Yeah, you think you love me, but you love her more, I promise. But the even like friendship that you have with your husband and like being able to have that like constantly, it's like learning as a single person to take that assumption and be like, hey, you actually like know in your noggin that like it isn't all sunshine and rainbows all the time. That doesn't change the foundation that they built their relationship on. and why their relationship will continue even when it's hard. But like, don't think it looks all like peachy and happy. And it's not like I haven't seen that, as if I've seen like major fights or crash outs or whatever with you guys. But I have been there when tensions have been high.
Yeah, sure.
So
you have.
Which I think is healthy though, like to a degree.
Yes.
Like, because most of us just get a fake picture in our head. And I wish more single people were able to just like be present in their friends' lives, whether they're just like in a dating relationship or marriage relationship or whatever. So let me just build off that with a question that just popped into my head.
Sure.
Do you feel like you and Blake did anything intentionally to make space for people like me to stay active in your life? Because I mean, like, I know that I'm always willing to call and ask and just see like what's going on. But like, did you guys ever have any conversations about that? Or like, was that even a thought in your head when you guys were dating even? And just like, how do I keep people in my life?
I don't really think the door was ever shut. Like, I don't really think that Blake and I are people.
Yep.
We're people. So I don't really think that we care what stage of life somebody's in.
Yeah.
Like, you could be single and 50, but hey, I really like you. You're awesome. You want to hang out with us?
Yeah.
I just don't think we've ever like shut the door to any person who's in a different stage of life as us. Is it easier to relate to people who are in the same stage? Yes. Like, we have 2 friends who have kids who are the same amount. She'll know who I'm talking about. Same amount of months apart, or like years apart as our kids, but they're like a year younger than our youngest. Like, their oldest is, like my oldest is 4.5. Youngest is about to be 3. Their oldest is 2. Their youngest isn't even 1 yet.
Yeah.
So like, we're able to like relate and chat with them about, hey, we struggle with that too. Hey, we're also very exhausted. Yeah. Don't know what free time is. Haven't met her. Haven't seen her in a while. Yeah. One day, maybe in 10 years,
she'll come back around.
She'll come back. But I think there's a gift to being around people who are not in your stage of life. Yeah. Whether it be seasons behind you or seasons ahead of you. Like your parents, for instance. They're our friends. Yeah. Me and your mom get coffee.
I know.
Like, we love your parents. Yeah. And they're in their 50s. Like, they're stages ahead of us. Yep. But we benefit from that relationship because we are able to be given wisdom from their years of marriage, their years of parenting, and also just be spurred on by them through prayer. Like, your friends in your life don't have to be at the same stage as you, but we've got friends who are younger than us who don't even have kids, or they're the same age as us and don't even have kids, so they can't relate in other ways. Yeah. Like, I have 2 friends who live in Alabama, met also 8 years ago, and we're still friends, and long distance friendship. It's really hard and sad. Yeah. But we love them. But they're at such a different phase of life, but that also does not scare them. Right. Like, they walk into our life and just love our kids so much. And I think, like, from a married person's perspective, having friends who are either married without kids, or they're single, or they're years ahead of you, like, if they're willing to come in and just like meet you in your season and you're able to do that with them, I don't really think that it just keeps the door open for your friendships to stay good. They're not going to look the same. Right. Our friendship looks very different than it did when I was single. And yes, it does. Had no other priorities in my life other than work. And I go to church, and then I go drink coffee with people. Yep. Which I still do now, just much different context. Yeah. But yeah, I don't really think the door was ever shut to any of that.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I honestly, as you're talking though, I know that all of this is easier because of your relationship with Jesus. And there's like, as a outspokenly aware, prideful person, like, I know my issues. I just don't address them all the time. I know the level of work that it's taken me to have to remind my own feelings, like, hey, there's a whole other human being involved in this friendship. Like, and I don't know what you're thinking all the time. Like, I can be really aware of what you're probably going to do, and I'm probably going to be right, and you can be the same for me, but I am not in your brain. So the fact that there is a like humility within your own spirit already, and I think it just takes us all different levels of time to get there, really, to just kind of like see that and let that be like a part of things. Because I have never felt like I needed to work harder to be your friend. Like, there are seasons where maybe the enemy has wanted me to feel that way. And when he does, like, I'll sit down and I'll write it out, though. Like, and it's not just you, it's other friends, too, where I think we all, you know, take it differently, and we have to address the enemy in ways that we know the Lord will speak to us through. So that's always writing for me.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I do appreciate all the different levels of like friendship that I have with people at all sorts of different parts of life, because you can't just learn so much. Yes. And I think that's what's like nice is, I mean, I tell people sometimes I'm like, I just am like taking stock of things I do and don't want to do in my own life half the time. Fair. Which is like, that's a blessing. And then I'll make mistakes that somebody else can learn from along the way. Right. And, you know, just having that sort of like space in our hearts for that, I think is really important. So
it is. That's a good question.
Hey, thanks. That was the Holy Spirit.
True.
Oh my goodness. Oh, let's see. What is one highlight of your life stage that you want your friend to experience? And what is one low light you want to be real about?
I was thinking about that question because I was like, that's a loaded question.
It sure is.
Yeah. One thing that I would want you to, okay.
And it can be me because I'm sitting here, but it can also be other people.
Sure.
Because, I mean, I feel like it hits even for your friends who are married.
Sure.
And maybe don't have kids or other things.
I would say the high point of what I would want other people to experience, whether they're in my life stage, not in my life stage, ahead of my life stage, I don't know.
Yeah.
Would just be like how life-giving kids can be, because the world tells you how over your life is when you have kids. Your life is changed,
right?
Your life is not over.
That's a whole word.
You do have to adjust your schedule. Yes.
Yeah.
Your priorities shift when you have children, and that's okay. That's supposed to happen.
Right.
It shifts in every season of your life. Like what my priorities right now, they're always going to be my family, but my kids aren't going to be 4 and 2 for forever.
Yeah.
At some point, they're going to be 14 and 12.
Right.
Yeah. That makes me sad.
Yeah.
And also terrified. But yeah, I don't know. I just want them to be able to experience the fullness of what having a child looks like, and also relate that to how the word describes them as literal gifts from God.
Yeah.
Like, gifts are not always pleasantly easy things.
True.
Any good gift that you get, typically hard work is involved with some type of something in that.
Yeah.
And I think that when you view your children as a gift, like when you view them the way Scripture tells you to view them, you appreciate that season of life more, and it doesn't frustrate you as much that your life is altered a little bit, that you can't go out past 8:00 at night, that your kids freak out because they're so tired, that you wake up at 6 a.m. every day without an alarm, right? Because your children are up. It's like, okay, here we go. Yep. All right, whatever. Yeah, that's definitely my high point that I want anybody to experience.
Yeah.
My, I guess, lower point of sharing is that your marriage will not always be what you need it to be, if that makes sense. It's not going to be picture perfect all the time.
Right.
You are going to have disagreements. You are going to have seasons of dryness with one another. Like, Blake and I we've gone through so much in 5 years of marriage. most people don't go through what we've gone through in 15.
Yeah.
Like, we have gone through it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how the Lord had it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I would say that we are probably, like, at 5 years of marriage, I feel like we are more toward, like, where someone is at 10 years because of everything that we've walked through.
Yeah.
But it was really, really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, after having 6 moves in 5 years, multiple different job changes, because we were just following the Lord's
Mm-hmm.
calling. Like, this is where I want you. And we're like,
yes.
okay, like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard. And then having 2 kids back to back on top of that, I was still working full time. Blake was working full time, and he was in ministry. And ministry is kind of all consuming at times.
Yeah.
And there's no breaks.
Mm-mm.
Not even for the spouses sometimes. I would say that there's slightly becoming a shift with that within churches, that they are recognizing, oh, the wife does not have to be as heavily involved.
Right.
That is okay.
Yeah.
It is okay for them to step back.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, just with all of that, and like, so there were times that Blake would be gone and I'd be by myself for a week or 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all for good things. He'd be on a mission trip, or he'd be doing like a staff retreat. Like,
yeah,
it's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard when you were the only parent at home,
yeah,
with your 2 young children.
yeah.
And you're like,
yeah,
okay, here I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, your marriage just is not going to look cute all the time. It's not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're each other's best friend. You are each other's cheerleader. But there are times when you guys have to sit down in humility and recognize when you have not been nice to one another. You have been disrespectful. You've been unloving.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're able to navigate through harder times in marriage, through things that are pressing against your marriage, causing it to be hard, whether internally or externally, it just, getting through it, learning how to communicate, makes you appreciate your marriage and your spouse that much more.
Mm-hmm.
And it also helps you see them better.
Yeah.
When you can sit and understand where they're at. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if they call it a low, but it's just like,
it's the real.
It's
like,
the real. Yeah.
Yeah. High and low is just for like framework reference point. Yeah. Because honestly, I think one piece of the conversation that's been missing a lot in church world for sure is that we have to go into conversations, especially like conflict resolution. And this is like dating, married relationship, or even friendship.
Mm-hmm.
We have to walk in with the hope. And I think we have to walk in with the assumption that the other person has our best interest at heart too. Mm-hmm. And we may not always express that in the right way. But if we go in thinking that someone has ill intentions against us, then our whole entire perspective is shifted, and like we can't communicate well at all.
Yep.
So like, and I mean, historically as Christians, we've been like very bad at handling conflict, at least in the American church, and especially recently. But yeah, I love both of those, because like I kind of already know stuff like that since I talk with you, and most of my friends are married. Mm-hmm. But I think it's good to keep saying out loud, because it just pushes back against the narrative of culture that like people are saying this, but you should still really have it all together. Mm-hmm. Because there's always going to be this like kind of push and pull, I feel like, where consistently within like secular culture and even in church culture, we're going to fight that forever on in, basically. Because honestly, like, highlights of being single are actually things that I feel like married people still get to experience. They just experience them later. Because, like, yes, I have freedom to travel right now, but I don't got a wallet to support that freedom. And it's like my parents are like thinking about planning another really big trip. When they went to the UK early this year, they're thinking about planning another big one next year. So like, which is great. And like, but that is a thing that waited for them, and they had to wait for, because we had to grow up. They're still shouldering me and Noble, in some respects. And so there are things that come back around. And in many ways, I also did my life and singleness kind of in reverse of a lot of people because I did travel earlier than most.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, travel, even solo travel, people preach that all the time as like this great and amazing thing. And I know that it can be, but I don't think that it's all it's cracked up to be. Now, do I say that like having fully told my younger brother that he needed to get out of here and go to Italy by himself for 6 weeks? Yeah, I for sure did. Mainly because he had the freedom also as a guy to be a little less worried about his safety when he was over there.
Yes.
But I also knew it would push him in a way to find community. And so the kind of, I think it's both the high and low of being single truly, is that you're always on the search for community in some respect. And so when you find it, it can be a really big high because I have most of my really impactful friendships that I have in my life now, I actually didn't even form until I was out of high school. And I'm really thankful for that because, and I've been open about it on the podcast, the friendship that I had with a couple of people throughout middle and high school that ended up just kind of blowing up in my face, partly because of stuff that I did. And there were other things that they did too. And it was just a big mess. We didn't all grow and stretch across life stages in the same way. And I think that like that's worth mentioning to people is because some friendships are actually just for a season. And so you might get to a stage in your life where they go gracefully. And then sometimes they go in a blaze of glory straight to hell. And you're just like, whoa, okay, I don't know what's going on here.
Yes.
And like both of those are like, okay, like that's just the human experience happening in real time.
Yeah.
So yeah, singleness is like, it is great. Don't get me wrong. But I think 9 times out of 10, I found it to be just like learning to live in the tension.
Yeah.
Because I know that even in marriage or when I have children or other things, like there's still a waiting and there's still a tension. So getting a little bit more time, at least for me, I knew it was God being like, let me just pat you on the head and be like, you needed that. You didn't know you did.
It's okay.
But you did. Like you really did. Okay. So, how, and like we've done this pretty well, I feel like. Is there anything that you've been jealous about in your friend's life? Have you ever talked, and like this could be anybody, like have you ever talked to them about it? And how did it go? But if you didn't, are you afraid that honesty will cause the relationship to break down?
It's also a very loaded question.
I won't do anything lightweight.
I know. I'm aware. I don't know that I don't know. That's like a really big heart check question.
Yeah.
I don't know if like I would use what I felt as jealousy. Maybe it is, and that's just not the word that I gave it in my head. I don't know.
Yeah.
But sometimes like our married friends who don't have kids, or even you guys being single, just like the reality of being able to just like whenever you need to sit and breathe,
have
quiet time. It's not because I don't love my kids. I love them so much, but the toddler years are truly the trenches of parenting in a way. Like they're the trenches every year, but because you experience hards in different seasons of their life as they grow.
Yes.
But I think sometimes just that, like, man, like being able to just sit in silence for a minute, eat my food for a second without a hand going into my plate, or being like food being flung at my face as that happens. I think that might be kind of where I can sit at times when I'm in an unhealthy mindset of just like, man, it'd be like, what would it be like if Blake and I had kids later in life, like,
Sure.
where would we be at financially right now?
Yeah.
Like, would we have bought a house a few years ago rather than right now? Like, so many thoughts of what is.
Yeah.
But it's that, like, and I mean, I think I've shared that with you, like all the things that I'm talking to you about.
Yep.
And I think you and I are pretty dang honest with one another.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think that's a problem that we have. But yeah, I would say, like, when I'm in a healthy mindset of just like being overwhelmed, like I shared with you recently, very overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
All the things. No time to take a breath. Struggle bus 24/7.
Yeah.
That thought of, like, man, it'd be so nice to sit, do nothing, have no responsibilities.
Yeah.
For about 5 minutes.
Right.
Then I can go back into it and then I'll be fine.
You just need like a pause.
I need a pause button. Can I have a pause button? What's that movie where he has like a click? It's called Click. Adam Sandler.
Oh, that does not surprise me. It's an Adam Sandler movie. I haven't seen that.
He pauses stuff. It's not like kid-friendly movie.
Right.
But it's like, like a pause button. Can I just
like, let me just stop this for a second? Yeah. Because honestly, I think too, at least with us, and maybe some of this is just because I have always been very motherly and I love kids. So, like, you don't ask me to babysit.
I don't.
Hardly ever.
I don't.
And you told me that it's because you also respect my time, which I've always appreciated. But you also know that if you need to, you can ask. And I'm probably going to be like, yeah, sure. Let me just see what's, happening. I can flip things around. It's fine. And your kids do like me. Thank God. So, like, bless. But what is something to build off of your answer, though? Before I give mine, because it's also an answer you've already heard. But, like, what is a way that you would want to encourage either married friends without kids or single friends, or even married friends whose kids have left the nest, to be thoughtful when they're interacting with people they know who have children? Because I think sometimes we aren't always considerate of what life looks like for you. Like, typically, I don't stay at your house once the kids start to go to bed. Like, I used to, but, like, I just started leaving because I know that if they get up and I'm still there, then we're going to have a whole other rodeo we have to deal with to go back to bed. So, like, for your sanity, I just pack it up. And sometimes I don't even say bye. You guys go into the bedrooms and I just dip.
I'll text you and be like, did you leave?
She's
like, yeah, I dipped. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
So, like, is there anything that maybe that will be the bottom part of that question. Is there anything that you've maybe wanted to say to friends that you haven't even, not necessarily out of fear, but just haven't said about, interacting with you guys at this stage?
Yeah, I don't know if it's something I've, like, said or not said, but I think just, like, giving them grace because they are also being parents for the first time. They're experiencing what toddlerhood looks like. They're having their first with their family for the first time.
Yeah.
That should take priority over, like, and I mean this with love, it should take priorities over their friendships with their friends. Yeah. That is their family. Like, that is who the Lord tells us to cultivate and to put Him, your spouse, your kids, and everything else falls underneath that. And yeah, I think just don't get mad at them if they say no. Yeah. I'm sure they want to come. They probably would love to come do something with you at 8:30 at night. That's super, like, off the band thing. Yeah. But as a mom, I am exhausted. Yeah. I literally, my every day is, I wake up at 4:45, 5 o'clock in the morning. Miles is always up with us. He does not sleep. Yeah. The dude doesn't sleep ever. He's up first thing in the morning. We're getting ready, packing lunches, getting them ready for school. Yeah. I'm getting ready for work, trying to make sure that I'm not just rushing them and not sitting with them for a minute before we start our day. Yeah. sometimes got to put the word in there when I can. If I can, it's at lunchtime or even when I get home that night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm at work from 7 to 5. And then I get home. And it's the same routine. We get home, we clean up, we start dinner, we eat dinner, we clean up from dinner, we get the kids in the shower, we put them to bed, and then Blake and I are like, oh my God.
Yeah. Just zoning out on the couch.
What?
Mm-hmm.
It just give them grace because they may not know how to operate at the moment. They might have the mental capacity to say yes. They may not even have, I'm speaking for myself, I sometimes don't even have the mental capacity to reply to a text message because I don't want to think because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
But sometimes I get it pushed off like a week.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. But yeah, that is probably the biggest thing is making sure that you aren't being selfish with them because they have, that is their priority, is their family, their children. You are also a priority, but not equal to the children and spouse. Like it's just different.
Right.
And grace is huge.
Yeah. Pop off. Yeah. I mean, we've had that conversation so many times, and I think it so depends on your family too, because I feel like people who've either been raised around a lot of cousins or a lot of siblings or had parents that were that way typically carry a little bit more grace for that than people who either it's been a long time since they've been in those types of environments, or even people who don't actively serve in some capacity, whether it's at a church or somewhere else, and you have to be giving of your time. It's a little bit more difficult for people to get on board with that. So if you struggle with this, go serve somewhere. But I think, and I also don't know that I would call this, well, I guess it's a type of jealousy. But we've had this conversation of like, for me, it's always been, it's more of a frustration than a jealousy even of like, you haven't had to, and other married friends haven't had to walk the road of trying to figure out dating up to this point in life and in this point in culture, because it's not the same, even as when you met Blake, like so wildly different, which is insane. And that was only 7 years ago.
I know.
Like, what the jump. So there have been times where it's like, and I think maybe even earlier this year when like we were going to Planet Fitness sometime to work out, I wasn't always the most gracious in the ways that I tried to shut you down when you would try and comment on like waiting and being patient for Mr. Right or whatever. Because like I remember clearly like snapping at you one time of like, you have not been where I have been. So like, it's obviously not that your opinion doesn't matter to me, but when I'm in an unhealthy place in my heart about it, it's like, you have what I want. Right. Stop talking. And I think that Christian culture specifically struggles with this. And I think even more so as women, just because of the way that marriage is presented to us in the church and relationships, and really just like,
it's almost like a God.
Yes, it is. I'm like, it is an
what are we doing? That ain't no.
All right. I'm like,
you read what marriage looks like in the Bible. So, husbands, you're supposed to love your wife sacrificially, like to death. Yeah. To the point of death. As Christ loved the church. Women are supposed to respect their husbands. And that means putting yourself below your husband in the sense of humility of, I need to serve him, make sure he feels respected. You're equal. You are equal. The Bible says that. Yeah. But respecting your husband takes humility out of you. That is not easy. No. Marriage ain't easy, and it's not supposed to be this, like, idol.
It's not a rom-com. It's not Sandra Bullock or Kate Hudson or Meg Ryan or whoever running through some Central Park fall, like, to meet up with whoever it's supposed to be. And it's like those, like, cutesy rom-com movies have their place. But when that type of mentality seeps into church and is like, hey, if you, and I mean, I talked about this last week, if you look like the Proverbs 31 woman, then like you'll get a husband. No one ever outright said that. But that is the tone that is implied. Yes. And I was discussing this with Dad and Noble at the table the other day, and they were like, what? And I was like, welcome to girl world. Trash. But that type of stuff that like when it's like stuck so deep in your brain, on top of like purity culture and other things too, like getting older. And for me, more than others, like haven't actively dated ever. And really don't like care to get on a dating app. I like loathe them. And so I'm like, okay, well, it's actually going to be an act of God. And we all laugh about it. And I think it's funny too. But like, it's also like, okay, actually though, hands are kind of having to be off the wheel. I like to grab the wheel sometimes, but then I remember I have to take my hands off. And so I think that learning to like have that conversation with, and we've both, even over the last like few months, grown through that though, and recognize that like, just because you haven't sat where I've sat doesn't mean you don't have wisdom that still, water seeds that have been planted in this season in my life. Just like for whatever reason, I can still offer wisdom into your life because beyond life stages, we're both women who are the same age. We are both believers. Like there are so many other similarities that far supersede like any other title that we hold.
Not married.
So like it's just, I think that's a really important thing for most people to know across life stages though, is that if you have lost yourself as an individual, all of those titles that you carry will be harder because you're just trying to fill that space with somebody else.
True that.
Which is just not it. That kind of also answers one of my questions on here. Phenomenal. Okay, how would you encourage someone who doesn't know how to bridge the gap in their friendships?
I'd say you need to lurk. You need to look inwardly at yourself and ask, where are you doing that to yourself?
Okay.
As a person. Because it could be a married person to their single friend feeling that way, or it could be a single friend to their married friend feeling that way. Or whatever it may be. But instead of looking at it as, well, they just think this of me.
Yeah.
Believing lies, right? Slightly being self-centered. Like, well, they think this about me. Well, they're just, they don't have time for me. Like, kind of a bad attitude about it. Like, you need to look inwardly at yourself. And if you feel like you can't bridge that gap, have you done what you can do in humility to actually see that work? Or have you been looking at it pridefully and like making it about yourself?
Yeah.
And that, I mean that for both ends. Because there's friends that I don't have now anymore.
Right.
Cordial with each other. Totally fine. Love all of them in Jesus.
Yep.
We're just not close anymore. And that's okay. There's no hard feelings in that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I think when you're struggling with that, and like you said, some friends are meant for a season, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But the friends that are not just meant for a season. Every season.
Here forever.
Here we go. Like, if you truly value that friendship, you will do whatever needs to be done to keep that friendship.
Yeah.
Like, how are you communicating with that person? Have you sat down and were you honest with them about how you were feeling? Like, did you tell them, hey, I'm really struggling. I feel really insecure in myself. I feel like you don't want to be my friend. You don't have time for me anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be. Being honest with yourself and looking in the mirror. Going to your friend and having an honest and open conversation without judgment. And also being willing to listen to them.
Absolutely.
That is what cultivates good friendships, is when you are, one, Christ-centered, two, able to open and honestly have a conversation of where you're at, but then receive what they're saying in an open and honest way as well. Yeah. To understand, you're not seeking, if you're going to a conversation like that, seeking for them to know what you feel. Right. Rather than seeking clarity as a whole, it's not going to go well. You're just going to keep getting frustrated. Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't it feel like it should be so simple? But,
right.
But really, amen to all of that. I would have a very similar answer. Because it's just the, like, breaking point of really all things is communication. And we live in a time where communicating can be done without the human experience.
Your text message, yeah.
Everything through a screen. And like that is tragic. Like
sad.
I was watching one of the most recent episodes of the With the Perrys podcast. And they were talking about it was their dating marriage episode.
Yeah.
And that was actually something Preston pointed out when he was answering a question from one of the people who was a guest on it about getting into relationships and how do you handle, like, for her, she's a public figure. So there were some guys who were popping in her DMs every now and then, and she's just a genuinely nice person.
Oh.
So she was feeling like everything is coming across as if she is flirting.
Yeah.
And Preston pointed out that, although there needs to be wisdom, because Jackie also mentioned that, she's like, you just need to like not.
You just need to say no.
Which was great. But he was like, local community is important.
Yeah.
But like, although it's hard, even for like, there are lots of long distance friendships. I have a handful. Like one of my other besties is now across the entire country. And it's like, what the hey. So we send little podcast length voice notes to each other. And so, but that's something that I also know, like, I could send you a podcast length voice note, and I have, but that doesn't serve our friendship well, because I know I can go talk to you physically in person if I need to.
Front door.
I have a key to your house. So like, if I really need to be there, I may or may not let you know I'm coming. I may just show up. But like the reality is, it would probably just be like, okay, so it's going to be fine. But with her, like she has a long drive. I used to have a longer drive. And so that's how we would communicate.
She's got time, which is nice.
Yes.
To sit and chat.
Yes.
It's
and
sweet.
Even her season has changed a little bit with her. She just got a new job, but like that's taking the time for us to also figure out, okay, how do we communicate to keep this thing going? If we have had history in local community, we can carry our friendship on. Because she and I have also been friends for such a long time. Also had some heated moments of frustration with one another, but like the beauty is the Lord is kind and is like, let's work through it.
Because you value the relationship. Right. If you didn't value it, you wouldn't have wanted to work through it.
Yeah.
You would just let it burn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there are relationships that I have let burn. And I think it's difficult as someone who naturally feels empathetic towards a lot of things and feels like she should be able to carry all of the things where it's like, oh, maybe I don't even want to admit that like this thing has shifted in its place in my life. And sometimes you don't say that out loud. And sometimes I don't think you should. And then other times your hand is forced. And you do say it out loud.
Yeah.
And if you have the opportunity to do it graciously, please, by all means, do it graciously.
Yeah.
When that's happened to me multiple times, not just in the one that I've mentioned on the podcast, I have not always done it graciously. And I think it's the kindness of God within that mess for me to recognize, like, here's how I put my foot in my mouth. Here's how I can look at this and go, okay, there is still value that was here, even if I don't value it the same now. It, like my counselor says, not everything has a life lesson attached to it. And I think that's true. So sometimes I have to remind myself not to go searching for a life lesson when sometimes there isn't one.
Sometimes it's just not that deep, girl.
Yeah, right? Like we just have to be like, it just ain't that deep. It is not that deep. Which like people want to be like, no, everything could be. And I'm like, no.
Don't ever spiritualize stuff. Don't do that.
It's so unhelpful.
Don't do that.
Like, because then you're looking for, like, as a single person, you're looking for your spouse around every corner. But it's like, there's actually no scripture that says the wife finds a husband. It's always the husband finds a wife.
Yep.
My counselor loves to remind me of that too. Shout out to Melinda. But yeah, like, but just being in local community, period. Friendships, relationships, whatever it is, if you have the chance to start those in a place where you have other people around you, because otherwise we can't rub back and forth, have a little conflict, have a little healthy conflict, because not all of it's bad. And then you just become a better, more well-rounded human being. And we need a lot more of those in our world today. And even as someone who I think I've been very blessed to have the chance to go make friends in places all across the world. And I've also had to recognize, like I used to have a Instagram for my friends who were in Tunisia, in North Africa. I actually deleted that a couple weeks ago because I was like, the reality is I will probably not be back there for a very long time, even though I'd love to go back. And I don't really have a need to keep up with this because that's just me trying to overextend myself in a way that's not healthy, even to my own friendships here. Mm-hmm. And if it's just one other outlet for me to doom scroll because that algorithm is just slightly different than the one on my others, like that's not helpful. Yeah. So taking the time to recognize like, okay, all these friendships in these different places have had very specific purposes, and there are a handful of them that have kept going past. I know I could pop into London and see so many people and it'd be like we just picked up where we left off. Sure. But I do not keep up with them like as much as I might even want to. Yeah. And that's okay because I need to be here, which like we all know I didn't want to say. But I'm like, you live like 5 minutes from me now. And like, I know, which is great because there was a time where I was like, I'm all the way across the world. I'm like, I've missed all like these big milestones with like your kids and all these other things. So having friendships locally is so important. And even people who you're like, I don't know if I would be their friend, but like, you got to give people a chance. That's also so important. Yes. You'd be so surprised. I feel like we're all so surprised. Like, you know what? I actually really like you.
We're so similar.
Right? I guess like, oh my God. Which is great because like we have lots of similarities, but like we're for sure different font. Like you have your wall out here, mine's in my room, and it's like bright orange.
Mine is blue.
Yep.
Baby blue.
My other big old wallet, neon pink.
Yeah.
Beige.
Beige.
But like not bad beige. It's just
but beige.
Yeah.
I'm a beige mom.
Okay, almond mom.
Almond mom. What does that mean?
That's like sort of crunchy.
Almond mom?
It's like sort of crunchy, but not. You're like conscious of like low tox things.
True.
But like you also are like, I'm not going to shell out.
Also
like,
drinking out of a plastic paper cup.
Yeah. It's just too expensive to be fully. I respect it.
Yeah.
My wallet says, not today, girl.
No.
But yeah, I feel like that's a very well-rounded conversation about friendship across life stages.
It's sticky.
Yeah.
It is not easy.
No.
We're fighting for it. Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on and having a conversation with me about this. If you guys want to follow along on Instagram, it will be in the show notes below. Because it's just always so annoying to say a full Instagram handle out loud. And I don't really think I have any additional show notes. I don't have any articles or anything to link for you. But yeah, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode. And until next time, y'all be good.